I'm Andrew with JVR Industries. We're based out of Buffalo, New York, and we specialize in vacuum packaging equipment and supplies. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the Vac100 vacuum chamber packaging machine. We're going to go through the unpacking of the machine along with the basic functions and operation. Upon opening the box, when you receive your machine, one of the first things you'll see if you purchase your machine from JVR Industries is going to be a bag containing various samples of different vacuum pouches. These are all nylon poly vacuum pouches. They are food grade, BPA free. You will receive some 3 mil sizes along with a heavier gauge 4 mil that will be good for like bone-in steaks and anything that is more likely to puncture. Get a feel for what sizes work best for you, what are the most versatile for you, and you can reorder your pouches at jvrinc.com once you're ready. Set those aside for now, and we'll go through everything that you received inside your chamber. So once you receive your machine, you're going to open up your chamber. One of the first things you might see on top is going to be a note that's going to say your machine does not have oil in the vacuum pump. So if your unit was shipped via some sort of ground service, UPS ground or FedEx, you will not have oil in your vacuum pump. This is because a lot of these shipping carriers will toss and turn the machines a little bit. They are packaged to withstand this type of abuse, I guess, as far as handling goes. But if we had oil in the vacuum pumps, the oil would leak out. So we purposely will drain all of the oil from the pump. We do include the spare oil, whether or not it ships UPS, you will have this. And we'll put a note right on top that says, make sure you add oil and check your oil prior to running for the first time. So once you remove that note, you'll be able to open up the chamber. Inside the chamber will contain a plastic pouch. Inside that plastic pouch will be an extra piece of Teflon tape to replace the tape on top of your seal bar. You will also receive a spare seal wire. Your user manual will be in there. You're also going to receive a suction tube, which works for your accessories. And this is one of your accessories. This is for a wine bottle. This allows you to pull vacuum on wine to preserve it for an extended period of time. And you'll also receive one vacuum canister. This is great for vacuum sealing any sort of fresh products like salads or fruits, vegetables. This will work great for you. You can seal it up, put it in the fridge, and it'll last much longer. So once you open up and remove those components from the machine, what you will be left with are 2 of these boards inside the chamber. These are what we call your filler boards. So you can use these depending on the height of the product that you're using. If you're packaging something that is very low profile, let's say a thin steak, or doing some beef sticks or jerky or anything like that, you may want to have both of these in here. If you're doing something larger like a chicken, like a whole roast or something like that, you'll be able to remove those, and then you'll get much more depth in the chamber. The only other thing that's in here that's really removable is going to be your seal bar. It is easily removable. So if for some reason this does get jostled around in shipping, it should not come loose, but if it does, it literally just sits back down on the pegs, and these little black clips, these are your bag hold down clips. These are going to face the outside. So we'll just pop that back down. So if you receive your machine and there's a note in it that says that you need to add oil, then the first thing you're going to want to do is remove the back panel. There's 3 screws located along the bottom. You're going to need a 3 millimeter Allen in order to remove these 3 screws. Once those are out, then you'll simply be able to tilt the whole machine up. There's a hinge. Make sure the hinge locks into place so that this cannot come down. And this will give you access to all the internal components. What you'll see here is your vacuum pump. If you look through the sight glass, you'll be able to see your oil level. Now, if your oil needs to be added, remove this top screw. And using the supplied bottle of oil, you'll be able to cut the tip off. Once you cut the tip off, you'll be able to just fill up the oil. This will be more than enough for you to add in order to fill up this sight glass. And what you want to do is there's going to be a couple lines on the side. The first line is your min line, and the second line is your max line. Just don't exceed that max line, and make sure it stays in between those two lines ideally. So once you're done with that, screw the fill cap back on, and you're ready to go. Now that you've checked your oil level, it's time to start the machine up. So you will also receive in your machine, you're going to receive a power cable. Just plug this into the back of the machine and into a standard 110 volt outlet. Upon doing that, there is a red switch on the back of the machine to power up the board. Upon doing that, you will be able to press this power key on the front, and the control panel will light up. Now, the operation of this machine is rather simple. The first screen you'll see is your standby screen. In the upper left-hand corner will be your current program number. I'm right now on P0. Along the bottom will be your vacuum meter gauge, and then all of your program keys are going to be to the right. If I want to turn the machine off, I just hit the power button. You'll notice that no sound was made when I hit that power button key. Your machine most likely will arrive where you'll hear a beep every time you hit a key. That can be turned off in a secondary menu. Look for another video that will be posted here shortly that goes through the secondary menu and how to make a few changes to some secondary options, and the beep sound is one of them. Also, you can adjust your vacuum if your vacuum gauge is a little bit off, but we'll go over that in another video. Now, you can hit the set key to get into your settings. First thing you're going to see is your program with your program number. Again, we're on P0. If I wanted to change the settings to P1, I just hit the up key. Now I'm going to change to P1, at which time I could hit the set again and make changes to P1. But I'm going to go back to P0, hit the set key again, and we can make our time setting adjustments for our vacuum. Right now it's going to be, right now we're set at 35 seconds. This is going to be more than sufficient for most products. If we're running a ground beef or some large bulk pack that possibly has a lot of air pockets in it, we might want to go up a little bit. If we're running a more delicate product, or maybe like a fresh Polish sausage that we don't want to crush the casing on, we might want to come down a little bit on that. Again, your vacuum times are a little bit experimental. Test out your product and see what it can handle, and also if you're getting the results that you're looking for. Let's hit the set key again, and it's going to take us to our inflatable time. This is not on a lot of machines. It's actually a useful setting, but it's not something that really should ever have to be adjusted. What this does is it allows the seal bar to lift up and come in contact with the upper cushion before the seal wire starts heating up. What this will do is make sure that that wire and bar are in full contact with the bag before the wire starts to heat. That's going to help prolong the life of our seal wire, and it's also going to limit the amount of stretch that our seal wire goes through, which will also help prolong the life of it. So again, 0.2 seconds is really a recommendation that we've found works best. If you go higher than this, you're really just kind of wasting time, so that really doesn't make any sense. You couldn't go even lower than this, but for the amount of time that 0.2 seconds is going to add to your cycle, we recommend just leaving it at that 0.2. Now, if we hit the set key again, it's going to give us our sealing time. 1.2 seconds will work with most standard 3mm nylon poly vacuum pouches, which are most popular. If you're running a 4mm bag, you might need to go up a couple tenths of a second. And again, if you're running a 5 or a 6mm bag, we're going to need to go up maybe a couple more tenths above that. Hit the set key again, and this is going to be our cooling time. Again, some machines don't have this. This is another important setting, though, for prolonging the life of the seal wire. This is the amount of time after your seal wire stops heating up, and it's still in contact with the upper cushion before the bar actually comes down and the machine vents. So your wire will heat up for that 1.2 seconds or whatever your seal time is set to. But what's going to happen is after that 1.2 seconds, electricity is going to get taken away from the seal bar, which is going to start cooling off the wire
but while that wire is cooling off, it's going to continue to seal that bag and also help that seal set up, so it improves the integrity of that seal. So by giving it that 3 seconds, it really helps to weld that seal, so that after it vents, there is no chance of that seal popping open, and also it allows us to reduce our seal time and still get an adequate seal, which again, this is all these things are done to help prolong that seal wire life, which is all beneficial to the customer and also to the machine. So let us hit that set key one more time, and we're going to leave that at 3 seconds. If you're really trying to run this machine fast, we recommend not going any lower than 2 seconds. 3 is really good. Going up any higher than 3 seconds is, again, kind of wasting time. So we'll hit that set key again, and that will bring you back to your program with your P0 displayed. So if you want to, you can hit the stop key. It's going to bring you back to your standby screen. You don't have to do that. You could just immediately start running, but just kind of giving you an idea of how these buttons work. The next thing we're going to do is actually run a cycle. So I do have a boneless marinated chicken breast that I'm going to seal up here. Basically laying it across the seal bar with our filler boards in. This is a low enough profile product that I'm going to have both my filler boards in for. And these bag hold down retainers allow us to slip the bag in there. And these are really they're really a nice feature because it allows the bag to lay nice and flat across the bar, and it ensures that we don't have any wrinkles or creases. So now once we have that positioned, it's just a matter of closing the lid and the cycle will automatically start. So the first thing it's doing is it's pulling vacuum from the chamber. All of the air is being removed from the chamber at this time. You'll see this vacuum meter gauge start to fill up and turn black. Eventually that whole meter will turn black, and it'll turn black in a pretty short period of time. 95% of your vacuum is pulled in the first probably 10 to 15 seconds of that vacuum cycle time. That additional 5% of vacuum really takes a lot of time to get to that deep draw, and that's really where you're going to see the preservation and the shelf life. If you want to maximize that, that's really what that extra time is for. So now it's going into sealing. The seal bar lifted up, it is heating the wire, and then it vented. You'll see there, it's a beautiful seal. We have a nice wide 6mm seal all the way across the bag. And one thing that's always good to do is kind of pull the bag apart, especially initially when you're trying to figure out if your seal time is sufficient. If you cannot pull the bag apart at all, then that's one way of knowing that you have enough seal time. If you have too much seal time, one thing you can do is look at the end of the bag, and if you start seeing the seal layer, the polyethylene in the bag, start to ooze out the side here, that means you have too much seal time, and you might want to come down with it a couple tenths of a second. I hope this video was informative. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact JVR Industries. You can visit us at jvrinc.com. You can also call us at any time during our normal business hours. We're open 8:30 to 5 Eastern Time. Our phone number is 716-206-2500. And again, we encourage customers to call. We are a very service-oriented company. We will be selling these machines all over the country. We will have the parts and everything needed to back these up, and we will also work with any customer to resolve their issue, no matter how big or small. So please contact us if you have any questions. Thank you.